happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. It's actually Thursday when I'm recording this, and I'm in my greenhouse. It has been terrible weather this week. It has been raining all week. Everything is drenched. Even for some reason, everything in the greenhouse, which is a little concerning because some of the plants don't like being wet, super wet, like my fuchsias and my geraniums. They don't really like it too much. But we do have some seedlings finally coming up. We've got some actual tomato progress here. So some tomatoes there. Looks like we have a tomato coming through there, perhaps, thinking about it. And over here, I think we have a cucumber or two, maybe a watermelon coming through. Nothing on the bottom yet. Everything else is feeling a bit fed up because the weather has just been so blinking terrible. I mean, it's been really wet all week, and you have to feel sorry for poor old Michael because Michael has been filming all week with this, the Mercedes-Benz EQS, and it has been so wet that he has had to basically, we had to go out and get a canopy, which was made possible by the kind donations of viewers just like you. We had to get a canopy so he could film underneath the canopy so he wouldn't get the camera wet. Because obviously, well, GoPros are designed to be operated in the rain, and this camera was operating in the rain earlier this week. The more expensive camera gear we've got, no, not designed to operate in the rain. So my pile of compost, which is as tall as me, I mean, obviously I'm a bit far away from it, it is still yet to be put on the garden. Nothing has been planted since I last saw you. I've got some progress on my peas, for those who are into gardening. Here we go. We have some peas coming through there. We have some beans coming up as well. But just generally, it's been really horrible and wet. My chickens have had enough. For those who didn't watch last week's Sunday Musing, we lost Grace and we lost Marie, two of my oldest hens, my original hens, two coyotes. That means that this run is out of bounds. It's also really super muddy, and the chickens are in chicken jail for now. We're going to build them a longer run. They've got enough room right now, but really I'd like to give them more because nobody likes being cooped up. That is not the joke I meant to make. I guess it was a joke. It was true though, nobody likes being cooped up. And so we're going to work on making it easier for all of them. We're also discovering, weirdly enough, there's a shortage on bedding right now. Shortage on straw, shortage on hemp, which means that most of my hens who, you know, would prefer to have clean bedding are having to slum it out a little bit more. We turn it over. Someone is laying an egg right now, so we'll leave her be. But it is frustrating, to say the least. Anyway, I know some of you come here to watch the chicken updates, but some of you come here to talk about what's been on my mind this week in an informal way. So this week, my Sunday musing is this. How important are granny leads to you? So Tesla has stopped including its mobile charge connector in its vehicles. It's not the first car company to do it. Mercedes charges you extra for its charging connector. Kia, plenty of other automakers do it as well. If you want to have a portable charging unit that you have in the trunk or the front that you can pull out and plug into a 110 or a 240 volt outlet and just charge your car in an emergency, these portable charge cables have been really essential for EV owners over the last decade. I mean, there's been plenty of times in my early years of EV ownership where a portable charge cable certainly helped get me out of a muddle. But let's face it, portable charge cables are really slow. Like even the fastest ones are still pretty slow. Tesla used to give away a 30 amp, 40 amp capable one. It stopped doing that a while ago, although you could buy a 40-amp adapter to run your Tesla mobile charging connector. But for the most part, granny leads are called granny leads because they're the things that you plug in when you go and visit granny. They're not intended to be full dedicated charging stations. I mean, and if you look here right now, we have 2 charging stations, 2 higher power charging stations. One's charging Kate's car and one's charging Michael's car, that allow us to charge up at, between up to a maximum of 7 kilowatts for these. Although Michael's car's limited to 3. And a granny lead, even charging something like a Chevrolet Bolt, would take more than a day. Now, lots of people don't have access to charging stations, dedicated charging stations. Erin is one of them. She has a rented house and she has to use a granny lead if she wants to be able to charge, because she doesn't have a dedicated charging station, she doesn't own the house, and so if she wants to charge, she has to plug into a household outlet and use a trickle charge cable granny lead to help her on her way. And for that reason, there are reasons why I believe it's preferable to have your own charging station at home if you can, but it's also why I believe that cars really should have the option, at least, of having a charge cable included. Now, if for some reason your charge cable, your car doesn't come with a charge cable, I think it should be discounted rather than you necessarily having to pay extra for it. So maybe your car should come with it included and you get the choice of saying, no, I don't want it, and they remove that and therefore you get a discount rather than the other way around. But they go, oh, your car is going to cost you this much, and if you want to charge it, it's going to cost you extra. I know it's just an accounting exercise at that point, but I think a lot of people would rather it was something that was given as standard and then removed, rather than something that was never given that you had to ask for. I know if you're buying a used EV, they very often don't come with any form of granny lead because they get lost, or people they take them out of the boot of their car, and then when they sell their car, they don't put them back in. But I can see the benefits of having a granny lead. At the same time, it's wasteful. If you're building a granny lead for every car that you sell, and 90% of consumers aren't going to use them, then I think that is just a waste of resources and a waste of time and a waste of money. So I would love to know from you guys how important you think a granny lead actually is for your EV, how important it is for you to own a vehicle and have a granny lead, or whether you're just someone who just has a charging station. You're like, I never use it. Honestly, I'd rather that it just wasn't an option. Now, when it comes to Tesla and other car companies who used to offer granny leads who no longer do, I think it would be appropriate for them to discount the price of the vehicle when they stopped offering the granny lead. I think that would be a nice to have thing to do. Will companies do it? Who can say? But I think it's just a nice thing to say, hey, we're no longer including this, so therefore we'll discount the product or discount the car so that we don't have to pay extra for it. Like I say, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Before I say thanks and goodbye officially, I just want to give you a few housekeeping things. So this week, Michael and I are heading off to Detroit on Monday for an event there on Tuesday. We'll be back Tuesday evening. But that does mean if there's any breaking news stories Monday and Tuesday, as usual, we might not be able to cover them until we're back in the studio. Obviously, there's now only 3 full-time members of staff at the channel, so we are kind of trying to adjust to a new reality of production. We're actually being really, really productive right now, but it does take a little bit of time to adjust to the production schedule. So please be patient with us. We'll do our best, and hopefully we will keep you up to date with the latest and greatest news. I am very excited about some of the things that are coming up in the next couple of months. We've got some great cars coming. We've got some great content coming. I'm a little bit bummed because all of the cars we've got coming are really expensive ones, which kind of makes me feel a bit meh. I'd much rather we were driving more affordable vehicles, but there we go. And hopefully, by the time this is published, we'll have warmer more spring-like weather, because right now it is very cold and it doesn't feel like the end of April at all. That is it for today's video. If you did like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave your thoughts below. And if you liked it and you want to share your love, please consider a super thanks. It does help the channel grow when you do that. I will be back next week with another Sunday musing. And of course, if you want more content from us, head to the main channel. Every day, Monday to Saturday, we make content. News, reviews, unboxings, first drives, analysis, and of course, our weekend news roundup show every Saturday. If you haven't already, do make sure that you have subscribed to this channel and to the main channel, and make sure that you ding that bell as well so that you're told when our next video goes live. And coincidentally, make sure that you've tweaked your settings because YouTube's a bit weird like that. Anyway, thanks on behalf of the entire crew. Go out to the folks on my right for being our $15 to $49 a month supporters. Special thanks to our $15 a month supporters. They are Chris Maxwell, Bennett Elder, Brian Newton, Dave Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leon, Andrew Martin, Guido Trahota, Brophy Wolf, Tesla in the Go, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Rory Litwin, Anonymous Freak, Jim Burness, Chris Ascenta and Denny Hyde. And our deepest gratitude to our $100 a month supporters. They are Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Joe Bresney, JP Fagerback, Will Graylin, Matthew Drobnak, John Lyons, Christopher Lee Jones, Andrew Glenn, Paul Conway, Laura Reynolds, Ellery Hensley and Ian. If you would like to become part of that amazing family, and who wouldn't, you'll find links below to our Patreon page. If you go over to our main YouTube channel page, you can click the join button there to become a channel member. And if you want to send us a tip, you can do so through Ko-fi, or in fact, you can buy some of our cool Transport Evolved swag from our Transport Evolved swag store. I am not wearing any of it right now. I'm representing the Dutch Angel Dragon, but that's not one of ours. That's one of the Dutchy t-shirts or hoodies. So you won't be able to find that on our store. But I will be back next week with more great content, as will the rest of the team. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving.